quantum physics is showing us that every possible reality exists now, in the present moment. So there are an infinite number of parallel realities, and the reality that you want to experience already exists. So it's not so much about creating your reality, it's more about tuning into the preferred reality. So think of it like TV channels. We have all these different TV channels that are all running at the same time. But you can only tune into one channel at a time. So let's say you're tuned into channel 2. You're watching channel 2 and you think, I don't like this channel. I don't like these TV shows. I don't like what I'm getting back. So I want to change to a different channel. So you pick the remote up, you push the button, boop, and then you change to maybe channel 4. And you're like, yeah, I prefer channel 4. I like these TV shows better. So it's the same idea. There's all these different parallel realities that all exist at the exact same time, but you can only be tuned into one of them, and you may not like what you're getting back in your reality. And so you have the remote to change that, to change to a new reality, so you can experience something different. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to do that, how to change the channel, so to speak. Now, Bashar, he talks about how in each and every moment, we exist in a completely different parallel reality. So he talks about movement. When we move, we're shifting through different parallel realities. So each frame of movement, so this is one frame, this is another frame, that's another frame, that's another frame. Each frame is a different reality. So think of it like a reel that you put in a projector. You stretch that reel out, you can see all the different frames. So that's all the different parallel realities. And then you put the reel in the projector and it projects out onto the screen and you see it as movement. So as I'm moving like this, I'm shifting through all these different parallel realities. Now you may wonder, well, if I keep shifting through different parallel realities every time I'm moving, then why do I keep experiencing the same reality? Why is not much changing? So here's the thing. The universe does not care about what you want. Just to be blunt with you, it doesn't care about what you want. It responds to who you are being. So here you are in the current reality. And who you are being is the way you think, feel, and act. Now, the way you think, feel, and act, these are habitual autopilot programs. So humans spend most of their time running on autopilot, running off these habitual programs. So, for example, the thoughts you think today, 95% of those thoughts were the exact same thoughts from yesterday. So you think the same thoughts, or majority of your thoughts are the same every day. You feel the same emotions every day. You do the same actions and behaviors every day as you just run on autopilot. And that is why you keep experiencing the same type of reality. Even though you're shifting by moving, you just keep shifting to the same reality where not much is changing. So the key to changing your reality is, firstly, you can play around with reality in a fun way, and I would encourage you to do this, by interrupting the autopilot programs. So you can do these little things to interrupt the autopilot programs. For example, most of us, we have our morning routine. We get up at roughly the same time, eat breakfast at the same time. We brush our teeth with the same hand. We usually use our dominant hand. So I'm right-handed. I brush my teeth with my right hand. So let's say you get up tomorrow morning and you decide to brush your teeth with the opposite hand, something that you don't normally do. And by doing this, by brushing your teeth, if you're right-handed, you brush it with your left, you're interrupting the autopilot program. Just by doing something like that, that can shift you to a new parallel reality where there's a noticeable difference. Another example is, we tend to drive the same way to work. So instead of going the same way to work, take a different route. Just by interrupting those autopilot programs, doing something different, you can experience something new in your reality. So I would encourage you to be spontaneous. Like, I think it's good to have a bit of a routine. I'm someone that kind of likes to have a routine, but at the same time, I'm all about being spontaneous as well. And being spontaneous is a great fun way to interrupt these autopilot programs. Now here we have all the alternate realities. And in these alternate realities, there's a version of you, like a different version of you, where you think, feel, and act a certain way. Now, let's say the one over here in red, this alternate reality here, is the reality where you are experiencing your dream life. You're successful, you're abundant and wealthy, you're living the dream, you've got everything that you could ever want, and you're so happy. The key to getting from this reality to this reality is, firstly, ask yourself how that version of you thinks, feels, and acts. So would the successful version of you have negative thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, nothing ever works out for me? Nope, they're not going to have those sorts of thoughts. Are they going to have negative emotions and be like angry or in fear or in victim mode? Nope. Are they going to have negative actions and behaviors where they may drink alcohol or do drugs or binge on junk food? Most likely not. So I would encourage you to think about how the successful version of you thinks, feels, and acts, and you can even write this down. Write down what sort of thoughts that version of you would think. The successful version of you would have positive thoughts, like, everything is always working out for me. Everything is always going my way. I can do anything I set my mind to. Money is easy to make. It comes to me so effortlessly. Have fun with it. Write down what sort of preferred thoughts you would have, that successful version of you that's living the dream life. And then what sort of emotions would they feel? They would feel happy and joyful and grateful and love and peace. And then what sort of actions and behaviors? They're going to have some pretty good actions and behaviors aligned with their successful life. So write these things down. And then what you do is you come back to your current reality and you start thinking, feeling, and acting like that version of you in the current reality. And the way you wire this in so it sticks, because remember, these are autopilot programs. This is to do with like the way your brain's actually wired. So we're wired a certain way and we experience the same thought patterns, same emotional patterns, same actions and behavior patterns. So it's going to take, a bit of work to get the new thoughts, feelings, and actions to stick. It takes consistency. And the key to wiring in this new version is by using meditation. Meditation is the tool, because meditation is how you enter your subconscious mind, which is your operating system. And that is when you can start shifting these autopilot programs. So go into meditation, start mentally rehearsing this version of you, how they think, feel, and act in meditation every day. And by doing that, you start firing and wiring new neural connections in your brain. And through practice and repetition, those connections will strengthen until it becomes hardwired. And when it becomes hardwired, this is when you will naturally think, feel, and act this way. They'll become a new autopilot program. And then by being consistent, it shifts your vibrational frequency which is what will shift you to that reality. And that is how you do it. So I highly recommend start up a daily meditation practice, start mentally rehearsing this version to start wiring it in so it sticks, so that when you do go on autopilot, you're running off the new programs. And then when you do this, when you be consistent with it, you'll notice things starting to shift and change in your reality. How cool is that? So I hope you like this video and you got some sort of value. Actually, before I end the video, I wanted to share something that happened to me a couple of days ago that was kind of weird, that made me wonder if this was me shifting parallel realities. So it was just like about 2 days ago. I walked into my bathroom because I wanted my chapstick. And I have this shelf where my makeup sits and my hair products, and I have my chapstick sitting on the shelf with all of that stuff, right? So I walk in there and I'm looking at the shelf and it's not there. And I was like, where is it? And then sometimes I chuck it in my makeup bag. So I looked through my makeup bag and I was like, it's not there. So I start feeling a little frustrated because I'm like, I know it was here. Like, where is it? Why has it disappeared? And so I thought, oh, well, I don't know where it is. So I went to my bedroom because I had another one in my bedside table drawer. So I grabbed that, I used that one, all good. Went back to the bathroom, and as soon as I walk in the bathroom, there it was, sitting right there on the shelf. And I know it wasn't there because I was standing there staring at it, confused about why it had vanished. And I walked back in and it was sitting there, and I was like, it spooked me. Like, I felt, even talking about it now, I'm feeling a little bit of goosebumps because it kind of spooked me a little. It was like, what the heck? This is the second time this has happened to me. So where an object disappeared and then reappeared. It happened to me another time quite a while ago. Like, these examples were far apart, like months apart. But that's the only two things that I've ever experienced in this house. You may think, oh, it could be a ghost. Because I thought that, maybe it's a ghost. And I was like, but nah, because I've lived here for like 10 years, going on 11 years. Apart from those two examples of an object disappearing and reappearing, nothing else has ever happened here. Like, there is not a ghost here. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I could think of, is like, maybe this is just an example of shifting parallel realities, and I was in a parallel reality where it wasn't there. And then by walking through my house, which is movement, and like Bashar says, we are shifting through different parallel realities, and then walking back to the bathroom, boom, it's back there. That's the only thing I could think of. It was pretty weird or crazy. If you've ever had anything like that happen to you, let me know in the comment section. I would love to know. Now, yeah, if you got value out of the video, let me know by smashing the like button. And if you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification. Have an awesome day. Peace.